Yeah, I'm Erick Tamayo, and I'm here to talk about web performance testing and real user monitoring on lab tests. I am the creator of RUM, and I want to start with this phrase. You can't improve what you don't measure. So this is a tribute to Peter Drucker, which was a manager, consultant in business. Well, we can apply this to many things, and one of these things are web performance, right? So did you know that 53% of websites are abandoned if it takes more than 3 seconds on mobile? And also, Akamai analyzed session traffic for retail websites and determined that when you have 3.3 seconds of load time, your peak conversion is 4.75%. And at the same time, a web page that loads one more second than that, it drops 26%, 3.52 of the total peak. So this tells us that performance is critical for the user experience. It's critical for our conversion rates. It's critical for even search engine ranking. So I'm going to explain a little bit what is real user monitoring and what are lab tests. So as its name says, real user monitoring is collecting data from your users. It helps identify the performance issues that your website might have that impacts user experience, such as loading time and even broken elements in the page. It also can be integrated onto your website real easy, just like JavaScript snippet, which makes it very user-friendly and convenient to do so. So some real user monitoring tools that we have everyone pretty much knows Google Analytics, New Relic, and Metronome, right? Now you might know now. So as for lab tests, lab tests is more simulations of the user behavior that you do in a control environment. So you can do things like simulate heavy traffic for your website without affecting your real production website. And also you can analyze the code behind your website, and you can identify bottlenecks on it and obviously try to optimize them and work for that. And lastly, you can simulate user interactions such as scrolling and clicks. So the known lab test tools we have is Lighthouse and web page test. Shout out to Henry from Catchpoint and soon Metronome, I hope. So what we should use? Should we use just real user monitoring or lab tests? So yeah, everybody knows that. It depends, actually. But I'm going to show you some advantages of both, and probably you can make up your decision. So when you are using real user monitoring, we have a more accurate representation of the users that are visiting our website. So this allows to quickly identify and address those issues. So it also helps us identify the performance issues to specific devices, browsers, and network conditions. It provides real-time feedback, as we all know. So lab tests let us isolate different components on our website. It enables us more precise identification of the performance issues as it's isolated. And also, we can simulate network conditions in a similar way as real user monitoring, but realistically, we don't do everything because we don't do every device and browser because it's just not worth it most of the time. And lastly, we can integrate the lab tests in our CI/CD pipeline, so we can catch things before they go to production if some performance issue was introduced in a PR. So depending on your use case, it will make sense to use real user monitoring or just lab tests. So they both have their own strength. And the best approach, I will say, is just try to use both. And if you leverage both approaches, you can understand a little bit better how your website is performing and out there in production and catching any issues before they go out to production. So the whole purpose of using both is, at the end of the day, improve user experience. Thanks for having me. If you have any questions, you can tag me on RUM's Discord, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Thanks.